Hey, we're live. It works. So it's National Pathology Week. Happy National Pathology Week to you all. Pathologists are the doctors and scientists who help diagnose disease. So they study disease. And of course, disease at the moment is affecting everybody. We know how important that work is. So, about 70% of diagnosis is made by pathologists, and they help the living to get them better again, hopefully. So it's National Pathology Week, and this is part of events all over the country at the moment. And this is part of outreach work. So you hopefully may have access to some sheets which we've put together. So there's a section on the Royal College of Pathologists website called Heart of Healthcare Art Activities. So my name's Dr. Lizzie Burns. I'm a scientist originally, and I work as an artist. And I can communicate science through being creative and encourage others to get inspired by how astonishing our body is and what can go wrong with it, which is when we're unwell. And if we can understand that, we can help get people better. So it's all medicine related. So I've created a couple of resources for the college, one of which is life-size drawing of the heart. Hello, Judith. Thank you for joining us. So in India. So this heart is a drawing that's life-size. So you can think about your own heart and you can colour it in and consider what the different parts are doing. It's a beautiful piece of engineering. So there's the outside and the inside, and we've got the labels so you can understand the different parts and consider what happens. So I'm going to show you this just before we get going on folding the beating heart. But for example, you can have a good go at colouring the pieces in, and if you cut it out, then you can sort of make a little hinge with sellotape, so you can like look inside the heart. So your heart would allow blood in from the body, and it would be deoxygenated, and it's then going to be pumped up to the lungs, where it would then pick up oxygen and let go of CO2, and then as it comes back in again to the heart with a final good push, which will then push the blood around the body. So our heart beats around 100,000 times a day. It's an astonishing organ, and the resources will hopefully help you appreciate how astonishing your own body is. Also consider what can go wrong and how to prevent that, and the work of pathologists. So it's kind of hopefully a creative, imaginative resources which you can use for relaxation as well. I think we all need to relax in this time. So do have a go at that. I'm not going to show you the colouring in because you can do that yourself, can't you? Instead, I'm going to be sharing with you how to fold a beating heart. And this is a design from an origamist called David Petty. And he discovered how you can fold a heart, a design, which will actually make a beating noise as well. And I have, there we go. And you can also do a little bit of colouring as well. It really makes such a heart sound too. So if you've had the chance, you may have already cut out the strip or coloured it in. But I'm going to explain to you how to fold it all from the basics. And even if you haven't had the chance to actually print out this sheet, then don't worry. I can still explain to you how to do it, even just with it from normal A4 or letter paper. I can show you how to do that. So if you grab your sheet, if you can, and what we'll be doing is we're going to be using just this little strip at the side. I'm also just talking for just a couple of minutes because it takes people a little while to arrive. So we're going to be using this strip, and it will be folding up into this shape. And as you'll find on the sheet, which is all on the Royal Pathologist website, you'll find that this side shows normal cells. So these are muscle cells. So your body is made of cells. It's what you are made of. And these cells have to be very strong, and they're quite big cells. And as with the rest of our body, each cell has a nucleus in it. So most of your cells have that. So maybe you could colour in the nuclei, and they contain DNA. These lovely structures. Now on the left, I've had a look with a pathologist at what can go wrong with the heart. So this is the kind of thing that a pathologist would do to try to understand and help suggest the best treatments. So at the top, really doesn't matter what colours you use, because at the scale of looking at cells, it's a little bit like looking at glass. It has no colour. It's transparent, colourless. So you have to add colours to see what you're looking at. So you can use whatever colours you want. But the top strip is showing the appearance of cells after a heart attack. And there they've mostly died, and there may be a few red blood cells, just damaged tissue. The middle is showing how the cells could be damaged with it's a rare condition, but an autoimmune disease. So the white blood cells are attacking the muscle cells. And then the very bottom strip is showing the appearance of cells with again a rare genetic disorder, and the cells are at all sorts of strange angles. They're very beautiful actually, but this means that the heart won't work well. So this is the kind of thing that pathologists are interested in. It's all based on science, and actually origami is science and art together. There is an art to it, and it's a piece of engineering. So I think with no further delay, should we get folding our hearts? So I would recommend making sure that you've got something to press on, maybe a board, maybe your desk, maybe you're in a classroom, which is fantastic. We're hoping that lots of students are getting involved in it this week. So I'm going to direct the camera down. So imagine that I've already done a bit of colouring in. Here we go. Now, if you haven't been able to colour in this sheet, what you'll want is a strip, which is around 3 by 1. So in this case, for A4 paper, it's 21 centimetres, so that's about 7 centimetres. You don't have to be too accurate, so it could just look like those sort of dimensions. So we're going to need to remove this strip. Now, you don't even need scissors for this. So I'm going to show you how I will do it. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to pull this back until it lines up with the line at the bottom of the drawing. I know it looks quite faint and subtle here. Now, origami is all about taking your time, being nice and accurate. A bit like being a scientist, you want to get things right. Being a pathologist, they really have to get things right. So it is about that care, attention. Give a good strong fold, because the fold will give it strength, and it will also mean then I can rip it off. So you should be able to then do a little nick there, and you should be able to then tear that off. Now, on your sheet, you've also got a little diagram, so that may be something nice to follow. It's up to you. But I will show you in person too. Right, make sure you got it the right way up. This will be the heart the correct way up. You want those little bits of coloured in cells to be at the front of your heart. So make sure it's this way up with the V, so it looks like a V. But we're actually then going to turn it round, and we're going to do a little bit of folding on the back first of all. So I want you simply to fold it in half. So simply fold it in half and really line it up. Again, be nice and accurate, take your time. This is also something lovely to do for your relaxation. Oh, that's great, Juna, that you can join us too. There we go. So our next step is to take this side, and we're going to line it up with the middle line. So we're going to take it and we're going to go like that. So can you see how this matches up with the shape of the cells? If you're finding that there's a great white strip showing, then you've got it the wrong way up. So can you see I've got it this way up with the V facing upwards. That's it. So I'm aiming to that middle line. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So taking this line and lining up to the middle. It's beginning already to look a bit heart-like, but there's a few more changes to go on. So it should look like that. So it was a strip down here. And I took the side and folded it to the middle. This really is a piece of engineering, as your heart is. That's it. Right, we're now going to turn it to the back. And we're going to take the side and fold it to the middle. And in doing that, you'll find that this area will swivel round. So we're going to let that swivel round, you'll see. And you don't fold it it's always hard to explain in words. You'll see. Right, so I'm going to take this side and bring it to the middle. So there's not too many steps for considering how cool this is. Just trying to make sure I'm accurate there. Do you see? So it went from the back and I turned it round. So it went from the back and it turned around and lined up in the middle. And I didn't fold this. I kept this nice and smooth. It's a little bit mind-boggling. Origami is all rather mind-boggling in a very good way. We need a bit of mind-boggling. I'm going to take the side and then fold it again to the middle. So again, twisting it round. And you can see your heart's beginning to form, but we've still got a little bit more work to do. But we're getting there. Again, you can always message me if you need me to slow down or anything. Hope it's working. So at the moment, it looks a little bit pixelated. I think we could soften our heart, so we could then fold that back. So simply tucking it. Have a go at tucking that back. So I'm hoping there are some of you in classrooms at the moment. Back after half term. Strange old times, but I guess at least you've got a fairly normal time, haven't you? What a gift learning is. May not always feel like it, but it's definitely better than being at home all the time, I think. There we go. There we go. And then again, folding in the sides, just so it looks more like a heart. But looking after your well-being, I think everyone will be a lot more anxious during this time. I've actually been doing an origami fold every week during lockdown. So if you look onto my channel, Dr. Lizzie Burns, you'll see lots of folds. At the moment, I'm doing a fireworker rocket. Great. So it looks like a heart, but it doesn't seem to be moving or beating. So we need to change it a little bit. So we're going to turn it to the back. And what we're going to do is take this side and we're going to bring it to the middle. So I'm going to take the side and I'm going to fold it to the middle line. I might need to put this down on the surface. Again, be nice and accurate, get it nice and accurately through that point. It's all about attention to detail. But there's something that's very relaxing about that too. Just don't feel that you're in a rush. Go slow. Good strong folds, accuracy. Side. I always think as well with that we feel less happy when things are out of our control. And doing origami is very controlled. You make something very beautiful and orderly when the world maybe doesn't always feel quite so orderly and perfect. So it can help restore a bit of calm, make something beautiful. And funnily enough, actually, viruses themselves look like pieces of origami. I'll show you at the end. Also, some origami folds are very virus-looking like structures, and that's something that you could maybe do as a follow-on if you're enjoying doing a bit of origami here. So if you've opened up those little flaps, I like to think we're opening a present. We've got this area. We're then going to pull down and sort of roll in the sides. Again, it's a bit hard to explain in words, but trying to roll in the sides to make a little point at the bottom. Again, you're just going to have to play around with your fingers, materials. It's all about understanding. And so it became a point. I hope that worked for you. I'll maybe try showing you again. So it was closed up like this. I'll show you just one more time, just in case you're like, what was that? Open up these flaps and bring down the middle and kind of tuck in the sides at the same time. Make a little point and then bring it up. Now you should have made your heart. We'll find out whether this one works. So actually, this is like a little handle. And the way it becomes beating is holding the handle and then kind of squeezing your fingers in. Oh, this one works well. Works better than for the last low fold. Can you see? I'm just squeezing that. Hopefully that's working for you. And it almost has that feel to it, doesn't it? So I hope that's worked for you. If you have a look on the Royal College of Pathologists YouTube channel, they've created a playlist, so you can again watch a video showing how to fold this, or I've also asking a cardiologist, a pathologist, all about these different cells, what's going on with them. So that could be something that you could do maybe in your classroom or at home. Listen to a cardiologist, our conversation while colouring in. So I thought it's nice to do something while you're listening to things. And as mentioned, there are lots of beautiful things you can do with origami, all about folding. And actually, your DNA encodes proteins, and it's the way that they fold up that forms the shapes and therefore the function. And actually, our whole body is effectively origami, isn't it? How it folds up, how it works. And viruses, very tiny, they have a tiny piece of DNA or RNA inside them, this genetic instructions, and it will inside it contain instructions for proteins. And they're covered with a sort of protein layer. They can also have a phospholipid outside layer, so a little bit of a cell which they hide in, which actually the coronavirus that's causing havoc for us all actually does have that lipidy outside, fatty outside, which means that soap messes it up, which is great. But not all of them have that. They can have a little protein shell, and they look like little kind of jewels because it's effectively one protein repeated over and over again. They basically, viruses look very much like this is called modular origami. So there's no glue here. It's all held together through tucks, and I've recorded a video as to how to make one. If you're being really ambitious, so this is 30 pieces. This is around 90, which is like a football, and it looks very much like a virus. I've also got a colour in hepatitis B as well, so that'll be something else that we'll share, and you'll see just how similar it looks to this. So I hope this has been strangely relaxing of learning about the heart of the viruses and about pathology. And we've also got a special event on Saturday, so there's lots going on, and do check it all out. And look after yourselves. Keep safe. Bye-bye.